Sponsored by Ocean Wave Cleaning and Restoration.
Meet esteemed Fashion Monger Academy beauty contributor, Erika Marie Tapia. With over 14 years of experience in the beauty industry, her dynamic career as a licensed skincare education specialist and CEO-founder of Empowered Artistry and the CEO-founder of Beauty by Erika Marie. Erika's unparalleled artistry, expertise, and visionary will impact FMA's community. Erika's contribution at Fashion Monger Academy will focus on enhancing the educational offerings in beauty, skincare, and makeup artistry, while inspiring the community to embrace the transformative power of artistry as continue to celebrate beauty and the pursuit of empowerment. Meet Fashion Monger Academy co-host Pina Boatwright, RD. Health Coach Pina is a name synonymous with culinary excellence, holistic wellness, and a passion for teaching. As a culinary instructor and registered dietitian, Chef Pina's love for cooking, teaching, and wellness shines through in everything she does. Her holistic approach to health, combined with her culinary creativity and passion for yoga, makes her a truly inspirational figure in the wellness community. Pina's dedication to empowering individuals to lead a healthy lifestyle is a testament to her belief in the transformative power of food, fitness, and connection. Meet host Menervia Akers, legendary interior designer, self-taught artistic designer, and underground stylist. She developed flair for fashion, decor, and beauty at a young age. Now she wants to help you discover your own personal style into a stylish lifestyle through FMA lessons. This is Fashion Monger Academy. Fashion, style, decor, lifestyle, curated show.
This is Fashion Monger Academy. Fashion, style, decor, lifestyle, curated show. Get ready to be entertained, inspired, and enlightened and empowered by FMA lessons.
You are now watching Fashion Monger Academy. Fashion, style, decor, lifestyle, curated show.
Hello everyone. Today's episode, I am so excited to introduce my very good friend coming in from California, Janine DiGiacomo. I've known Janine for, my goodness, now almost 18 years, Janine, something like that, 15 to 18. Janine and I used to be co-workers together at the hospital in California, and I'm so excited she's coming from Santa Cruz. I know it's early in the day for you, Janine, so we're so happy to have you in our episode all about heartbreak and loss, and we're talking about Janine's amazing book called The Uprooted Heart.
The Uprooted Heart, a book about breakups, broken hearts, and planting the seeds of self-love. This self-help book provides guidance, comfort, and practical tools for those coping with the end of a relationship, featuring healthy lifestyle, do's and don'ts, healing assignments, poems, and reflective assignments. This self-help book is designed to support individuals navigating the emotional aftermath of a breakup. It offers comfort and guidance through a combination of real-life stories, practical advice, and interactive exercises. The book includes Dear Janine advice columns, do's and don'ts lists in each chapter, healing homework assignments, poems written by the author, Chocolate for Breakups weekly worksheets to encourage journaling and self-reflection. These elements aim to help readers heal and rediscover self-love and inner peace.
FMA students, get ready to be entertained, enlightened, and empowered with edifying FMA lifestyle curated lessons.
Janine, tell us a little bit about yourself. So excited to have you on the show.
Thank you, Pina. I'm really excited to be here, and hello from sunny Santa Cruz, California. But I hear it's pretty sunny where you guys are too lately. But I guess if I had to put it in a nutshell, currently I'm retired. I just retired in March, so it's really new. Still trying to figure out, get my sea legs on the whole retirement thing, but I have some ideas for myself. But prior to retirement, I had a 30-year career in healthcare. So I was a health educator, and 28 of those years were with Kaiser Permanente, and I had a few years with a hospital and a state department of health. And I taught a variety of classes, all related to chronic conditions, so blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, stress management, weight management, etc. I also did, I taught a couple of parenting classes. I did some prenatal work, prenatal classes, and also taught in the Department of Pediatrics as well. I also taught at San Jose State University in their Public Health and Recreation Department. And lastly, I'll just say that my educational background, I received a bachelor's degree in health education at the University of Utah and went on to do my master's in public health with Capella University. So that's kind of me in a nutshell with my education and my career.
And I'll also add that Janine is a poetess, so she writes poetry, and she's a singer-songwriter and just a phenomenal, phenomenal woman. Enjoys the outdoors, and Janine, you just have so many gifts and so much to offer the world, and I'm so excited. And I have to say, the book that you wrote has helped me through the years. It was published, I believe, in 2013, so I'll give you a chance to talk about your book, The Uprooted Heart. But it is a book and a workbook that I've gone back to many times, especially during hardship and other moments in my life where I felt like I just needed to pick up the book for inspiration and or just some time for reflection. So Janine, let's get into this book, The Uprooted Heart.
Janine DiGiacomo is a multi-talented American author, poet, singer, songwriter, professor, and experienced health educator with more than 30 years in the field. She is based in the San Francisco Bay Area, where her career has centered on improving the well-being of both children and adults by encouraging healthy habits and self-growth. Janine's teaching and love for personal development shine through her creative work, which encompasses both children's literature and self-help books. Janine has worked for Kaiser Permanente as a senior health educator for many years. Her work focuses on helping people, both adults and children, with behavior change to live a healthier life. Also, she has served as a lecturer in the Health Science Department at San Jose State University.
I know that this is a special book for the collaboration that you and I have done. We can talk a little bit about that. As Janine in the book has interviewed several of her friends, and I do have an interview in the book. So
Are
Janine,
you one of the 9?
Oh, I am, but I'm not going to tell you who, so you have to read the book and then try to figure it out.
Yes, okay, cool.
Janine, tell us about the book, The Uprooted Heart. What was the inspiration, and especially around the metaphor? What did it mean, the uprooted heart? How did you come up with the uprooted heart, the name, metaphorically, spiritually? What kind of significance does that have for you?
So I'll talk about the name of the book to begin with. I don't know. I was trying to come up with a clever name. I thought the more clever the name of the book, maybe it'll get more attention, on Amazon. But I wanted to be have it be meaningful too, right? I thought about comical titles, and then I kind of went different directions. But I came up with The Uprooted Heart because I thought, what does it feel like when you go through a breakup? It feels like your whole life is uprooted. If you can sort of visualize, a person just going into a garden and just pulling up a big plant, or an animal gets to it or whatever, and it's just sitting there with the roots straight up and everything's decimated kind of. And so that's where I came up with the idea for the upside down tree. When the artist worked with me on the cover, I said, I really want it to be like a tree with the roots sitting up like that. That's where I came up with the idea there, because I think when you talk to people, I think they get it with the uprooted part, because that's how you feel. As far as the inspiration, there's sort of a little bit of a story there. I'll try to keep it as concise as I can. My story is that I had breast cancer in 2009, and that's really what was the big inspiration for writing the book. So that year in 2009, I call it my Chicken Little year. If you think about the children's book, Chicken Little, Chicken Little, Chicken Little, the sky's going to fall on my head. It's the end of the world. That's sort of what that year felt like to me, because I had 3 major things happen to me. One was a breakup. I wouldn't say that the breakup came out of left field, but I wasn't prepared or didn't think it was going to happen. Let's just put it that way. So had a breakup, literally. So that was June of 2009. A month later, I found out that I was getting laid off from my job. I had worked for Kaiser for 13 years. And at that time I was doing a, what I would call a research position. And it was temporary, but it was supposed to be 3 years temporary. And I'd only worked there like 6 months. And I was being paid by grant money, and we lost the grant money. So they were like, we're so sorry. We really love your work, but you've got until the end of the year and then we don't have any more money for you. So I was losing my job. So breakup, a month later, losing the job after 13 years. And third, I found the lump in my breast. So it was just like boom, boom, boom. And, of course I had all the tests done, and it came back that I had breast cancer. And I kind of joke about it sometimes that when I had breakups in the past, I would say, well, at least I have my job and my health. Well, in this particular case, I didn't have those either, right? The breakup, and I didn't have my job anymore, and I didn't have my health. So it was major. And I think when you go through something like that, you tend to go deep in, like very introspective. And I started thinking a lot about, what have I done in my life? What do I want to do in my life? Why am I having all these problems with breakups? What, am I having am I looking at patterns with myself, with people and relationships? And so I think the book was all about I had a lot to say. I had a lot to share and a lot to say. So I think that would be what the inspiration was.
So wonderful. And amazing that you were able to channel that and use that therapy, right, in terms of 3 catastrophic things that have happened in your life, Janine.
Yeah.
And so powerful. You're a powerhouse.
Mm-hmm. And I can relate to her because breast cancer as well. So this is my outlet doing this. Mm-hmm. Everyone needs something to do. So yes, I'm still going through that now, reconstructive surgeries and things like that. So that's really challenging. And it's hard because if you don't journal, you don't have no one to speak to, things like that, you're not spiritual, what do you do? So you need something. And I fell into what I love the most. So I'm putting both of these things together. I love media and I love fashion and decor. So here we are.
Right. So part of that is the healing journey.
The healing part. So
right.
that was my healing.
So part of it's finding your passions, finding what
so I can
you
relate
enjoy
to her.
doing. And Janine, you spoke about that, or wrote about this in the book, about different things that you can do, especially the workbook style. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration around how you designed your book. I know as a health educator, you have years and years of experience facilitating and teaching, and so taking that to the book. Tell us a little bit about sort of how you structured the book for healing.
The Uprooted Heart offers a unique blend of healing advice, inspirational interviews, and interactive workbook activities. It walks readers through the process of healing with understanding, empathy, and actionable steps, ensuring that no one has to face heartbreak alone. Janine DiGiacomo's Healing Guide provides readers with insights and practical strategies for navigating the emotional roller coaster that often accompanies breakups. The guide addresses key stages of the healing journey, including coping with loss, processing emotions, and rebuilding self-esteem. Through gentle encouragement, Janine helps readers regain their footing and move forward with renewed confidence.
Yeah, and I guess I would just maybe backtrack just a little bit that why did I choose the breakup book? And it's because, God, I think that was my, 7th or 8th breakup or something like that. And I thought, I'm an expert at this. I'm an expert at telling people, maybe what not to do and how to heal and all that. I'm not sure I would be an expert on how to find a good relationship, but I can talk about the other. And so that's why I sort of really zoomed in on like the relationship thing. Also because I wanted to sort of think about, what are the patterns I'm dealing with here? What are my insights? What can I change to make this go a little bit better? And that's sort of why I went that direction. But as far as the design of the book, I think it did help that, I've been an instructor, a health coach and a teacher and an educator for so long. I think I can be pretty methodical with things. So there's like 4 pieces. Part of it was, what would I want in a breakup book if I was reading a breakup book? What would help me? That's sort of one thing I thought of. And so there's a section called Healing Homework Assignments. And there's usually like 3 or 4 of them, I think. And I was going to just share a couple of them. I think this is on page 35. Basically, what the healing homework assignments are is just to keep you focused, right? Get out of your head, because there's this tape playing over and over and over again in your head about, well, why did he break up with me? What did I do? What did I say? What could I have said differently? And you just got this on play and rewind and play and rewind all day long. So the healing homework assignments are sort of to help focus you on something positive and get out of your head. So like on page 35, this is week 3, get a manicure, pedicure. I know you will feel better and you deserve a little pampering after everything you've been through. Number 2, buy something special for yourself. A new pair of shoes, a pair of silver earrings, a new outfit, but out of control spending is not allowed. And number 3, make a list. Make a list of everything that you've accomplished and are proud of. So that's like an example of healing homework assignments. There's also a funny, to me, it's kind of a little bit funny, a do's and don'ts list. And just real briefly, one of them says, plan a weekend trip with your girlfriends. That's the do part. The don't part is don't do a drive-by and start stalking him. So, these are just things that I thought about, So do's and don'ts list. There's also, and this is probably one of my favorite pieces. And Pina, I'm so glad that earlier you called it kind of a workbook, because that's what I envisioned was a workbook, or at least part of it. So the workbook part's called Chocolate for Breakups. And instead of feeding yourself chocolate, you can feed yourself with these journaling worksheets. And just one example of the journaling worksheets is there's a chapter that I talk about red flags, why we ignore the red flags. Sometimes even when we see the red flags there, we still don't do anything about it. And so we're sort of in denial and that kind of thing. So the worksheet, I think that's on page 36, says, here's a couple example questions. Make a list of what you consider to be a red flag in a relationship. Number 2, make a list of all the red flags that were flying in your last relationship, kind of thing. And there's lines, journaling lines in the book so that you can write that out. So you can actually write inside the book. So yeah, and then the last part of it is just my own stories. I was very careful how I talked about my own breakups because I didn't want to bash anyone. But I shared 5 of my breakup stories just very carefully, no dates, no names, that kind of thing. But how I met the person, what was good about it, what started to go wrong, and the main point, how I healed and got over that, and what I learned, right, each time. And then I have the 9 interviews from my girlfriends. So I felt like if I'm sharing my own stories, that's really putting it out there and being very genuine and vulnerable. And I think people can relate to that when you're honest. And then to have 9 of my friends share their stories as well, that was the other part. So that's pretty much how I laid out the book.
A standout feature of the Uprooted Heart is its interactive workbook section. Readers are invited to engage with healing homework assignments, designed to guide them through self-reflection and personal growth. These assignments encourage journaling, self-care practices, and creative exercises, all aimed at fostering emotional resilience and self-acceptance. Recognizing the comfort that simple joys can bring, Janine includes Chocolate for Breakups in her healing toolkit. This playful yet meaningful element symbolizes the importance of treating oneself kindly, indulging in small pleasures, and nurturing the heart during tough times. The book features interviews with individuals who have endured heartbreak and come out stronger on the other side. Their stories serve as reminders that healing is possible and that each person's journey is unique. These interviews offer hope, validation, and inspiration to anyone struggling to find meaning after a breakup.
So I guess you kind of did break it down, but I had the question, so I might as well ask. Yeah. So healing. Describe the verb, healing. What does that word actually mean to you, healing?
Yeah, I suppose that could mean so many different things to so many different people, but I think, Menervia, you said it earlier, something similar to what I'm thinking, is that if everything you've experienced is stuck in here, okay, because you haven't talked about it, you haven't journaled about it, you haven't, worked through it, whatever way you choose to do that, singing songs or hiking or whatever it is, however you choose to get it out, it stays stuck in here. And that's really, to me, dangerous in so many ways. I think it's dangerous mentally. I think it's dangerous psychologically, emotionally. But being a breast cancer survivor, I really think it's dangerous physically, because I think that, there's that mind-body connection, right? When we have higher stress levels, all kinds of things happen in our body. And, all of us have cancer cells in our body, but usually our immune system is equipped to fight them. But if your immune system is down because you're under a lot of stress, your body's not able to fight things as well. So I think it's really dangerous to not let your pain have an outlet, right? So that's healing to me, is that outlet, that way of getting it out of your body.
Breakups can be some of the most challenging experiences in life, leaving us grappling with shock, pain, sadness, confusion, and anger. The Uprooted Heart, authored by Janine DiGiacomo, is a compassionate and practical guide designed to help individuals heal from heartbreak, rediscover self-love, and emerge stronger than before. This book is not about blaming past partners or dwelling on regrets. Rather, it is about planting new seeds of hope, nurturing self-growth, and finding clarity and peace after difficult relationships.
Right, and so I definitely have a question around that grief. I think your book, Janine, although focused on breakups, when I was reading, just again, this may be the 7th time that I've read the book, it's really about grief, right? Sort of how do you deal with grief and heartache? So let's talk about the stages of grief. So if somebody were to pick up this book, let's say they're not going through a breakup, but they have different grief, a loss, for instance, or other aspects of heartache. Tell us a little bit about that so that we can walk through the stages of grief and how you would be able to use your book for healing.
So I think, the book is definitely concentrated on, particularly relationship breakups, but I think grief can be very similar, one story to the next, right? So I do talk about Elizabeth Kubler-Ross in one of my chapters, and she talks about the 5 stages of grief. And there's the being in denial, there's the bargaining, there's the anger, there's all these different stages, right? And I think it's helpful to understand that. I have some recommendations in my own book for some of her, like I think I put her Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's foundation, like her website in there. There was a couple other books that I talked about. So, getting people to think about looking at literature and reading about grief so that you can understand what you're going through. Beyond that, my book and these other books that I talk about discuss what you can do with your grief, right? And what is that? Talk therapy, see a therapist, get together with your friends and talk to your friends about it, your family members. A lot of times I think it can be great to talk to your family and friends, but someone more neutral can be good sometimes, because family and friends, they tend to take sides and get emotional about things. And so maybe a more neutral person, it depends on the situation, right? But a more neutral person can be a good thing to get that talk therapy going. I love journaling, but I'm a big writer too. So when I write stuff, it makes me feel really good because I'm just pouring it out. So those are the things I think somebody might get out of this book, is that, understanding that all people go through grief, there's stages of it, and there's things you can do about it.
Great.
We're going to take questions from the studio audience.
Yes, we have a live studio audience with us.
Great.
Sure, I can start since I have the handy microphone here.
Yeah, and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Christine, and I'm a friend of Pina's. And one comment I have is about, you mentioned pain, the pain of grief, the pain of a breakup. And I think one of the comments that I have is certainly this doesn't apply to real dangerous relationships or, relationships that you needed to get out of. But for other relationships, when the breakup, the natural cycle of the relationship ends, I have found that looking at the pain as it was at one time there, it's there now because it was one time joy and love. And to me, I think that's a really nice way to frame your pain, is that it came from somewhere. If it wasn't love and joy at one point, then it wouldn't be pain now. And I had a question, but I forget it. Do you have a question? Jen?
No, I mean, I think that the best thing you can do for yourself is to always forgive anybody who does you wrong. And all my relationships have always ended but not to a point where I was ever angry. Of course, pain is such a personal thing, but I was always so rational about it. You know, as far as what are you supposed to do? Two different people have two different things. And, you know, most of the time when people broke up with me, it's because I kind of forced them to, because I didn't know how to break up with them. You know, that was a big thing for me. So I think for me, I've become a little bit robotic maybe over the years, just being so rational all the time about things that just like, what are you going to do? I mean, you're supposed to keep putting foot forward and keep going, and not having a lot of, you know, negative memories to drag you down. And I think I would normally end up putting more of a silver lining on things. Most of my ex-boyfriends are still part of my life. And because it's like, I love you forever. I just don't want to be with you anymore. So, you know, I'm wondering if there's a process I should be starting a journal to do some breakthroughs, because I used to write all the time until I started living with a man, and then I didn't feel safe about it anymore, like as if anybody could go open it up and read and take out of context my feelings. So I really feel like I stunted myself. So I think I'm going to go pick up this book like on my way home and start really maybe doing some of the exercises, because I don't maybe recognize the pain that I've been carrying around for so long, because I want to be above it or something.
Journaling is an integral part of the workbook, providing readers with a safe space to express their feelings, document their growth, and gain clarity. Through guided prompts and exercises, Janine helps readers turn their pain into wisdom, gradually transforming heartbreak into healing.
And Janine, have you felt that you have healed from your traumas, I should say, in breakups? And are you seeing anyone now? What's your relationship look like now?
Well, thank you for asking that. I do feel like I healed. You know, I would say one of the other motivations for writing the book was cathartic for me, right? Can you imagine what that was like? I mean, I remember sitting up with this really old computer. Like, I don't even know how I did it with that old computer, but I would literally type until, you know, I was on disability at this time going through my cancer treatments, but I would type until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would just get this like soreness in my tendons here in my arm, because I was just madly typing. So all this stuff was just pouring out of me, right? So it was really super cathartic. Writing the book taught me a lot of stuff, right? And even though a lot of the ideas were kind of almost even new for me, you know, I thought I'm trying to, I don't know how to put this. Some of it was just like in real time, right? I was trying to figure out some of the stuff, and it was coming out in real time. And I thought, you know, I hope I can live these words. I hope I can stick to what I'm really saying here. But I wrote the book when I was 50. And I really feel at 50 years old, I finally figured it out. I felt like I had some big secret, and I wanted to share it. And so once I got that whole self-love thing down, I haven't looked back. I have had a couple of relationships since the book that didn't work out. I think I handled them a lot better as far as when the breakup happened. And you know what's even better than that, I think, is that I have learned to be happy whether I'm in a relationship or not. And that never happened to me before. I always felt like if I wasn't in a relationship, like I had a full life and everything, but I always felt like I had kind of this half a life thing, like, oh, things will get better when I meet that guy, you know, and everything's going to be really great. I don't do that anymore. Like, I live my life for now. It's great if someone's in my life. It's great if they're not. And that was a big thing for me to learn about myself. One time I told some girlfriends of mine, we were out at breakfast, and I said, you know what I finally figured out, you guys? I said, I'm where the fun is. I said, I'm where the fun is. If someone wants to join me in that fun, that's great. But I'm not waiting for someone to bring fun into my life. I'm where it's at. And they're like, oh my God, you need to make a t-shirt about that. You know, I'm where the fun is. So yeah, I healed, and no, I'm not in a relationship. I haven't been for 5 years. Do I want somebody in my life? Depends on what day you ask me. But you know, I'm 64 years old. I don't see any reason to really get married. Why? You know, my son has grown. He's almost 40. So yeah, I have my own money. I don't really feel like I need to merge with someone as far as houses and money and all that. What I would like is a companion, someone to travel with, I would still want a monogamous relationship. But you stay in your house, I stay in my house. We don't mix that up because to me, that's just way better. And I realize younger people maybe can't do that or don't want to do that. But anyway, that's my story right now. Yeah.
In The Uprooted Heart, Janine DiGiacomo shares 5 relationship stories from her own life. These accounts are honest, raw, and relatable, illuminating the mistakes, heartbreaks, and lessons she has learned along the way. By opening up about her real experiences, Janine invites readers to reflect on their own journeys and recognize that healing is not only possible, but attainable.
So how long did it take you to actually write the book? Did you have a time on it, or you just, like you said, just writing because you wanted to get it out?
You know, right when I was going through my treatments, you know, and you know this, Menervia, that it changes you, right? When you have a breast cancer diagnosis. I mean, I went through 2 surgeries and I had 3 months of chemotherapy, lost all my hair, eyelashes, eyebrows, all the hair on my body, right? It's traumatic. And then I went through like 6 weeks of radiation or something. So it took me the better part of a year to get through all my treatments. So I think what that does is it just puts a little different perspective on life. I was always pretty focused on my dreams and goals and stuff, but it just puts a different spin on things. It's like no one knows how long they get to be on this big blue ball that we're on, right? So you're just like, man, seize the moment, right? Carpe diem, right? You know, you just like don't want to waste any time. You don't want to procrastinate on anything. You just want to get down to it. So the first thing I did was I published a children's book, and I had so much fun doing that I said, oh my God, I want to do another one. And so that's when I came up with the idea for the breakup book. And I want to say, gosh, you know, I don't know that anybody's ever asked me that, how long it took me. I think it was just a matter of months. I mean, it was just pouring out of me. And then, of course, you have to go through I went through a self-publisher, and you have to edit the book. You get an editor and do all of that and get your cover situated. So it might have been maybe 6 months or something like that. It took me to put it together.
Okay, so you did Uprooted. Did you say you did the children's book first? Mm-hmm. Okay,
yes.
Then Uprooted. Okay.
My kids loved that book.
Oh,
when they
great.
were little. Janine, remember? Yes, we used to read that to Marco and Sophia all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they loved it.
Down the Drain Dash, 2011. The book is designed to calm children's fears and spark their creativity. DiGiacomo's first book is a children's fantasy story that follows a boy named Eric on an imaginative adventure down the bathtub drain. The book is designed to calm children's fears and spark their creativity. It features colorful marine characters and provides a whimsical exploration of the underwater world. The wisdom found in The Uprooted Heart is designed to help readers cope, heal, and become healthy again after the end of a relationship. Janine encourages readers to see breakups as opportunities for growth, self-discovery, and transformation. Her compassionate approach provides comfort and guidance, reminding everyone that they are not alone in their struggles.
Janine, talk to me about closure. Is that a myth? Do you believe in closure? Or are we chasing it?
You know what? It depends on what your definition of closure is. I believe in healing because the last relationship I wrote about in the book was just devastating to me. And it's weird because I hardly even think about him now. And I actually say to myself, why was I so strung out over him? My God, you know, I just kept thinking, what did he bring to the table? Not much. You know, I gave and gave and gave, and I don't think he really gave back. And I don't know, all these hindsight's 2020, right? You look back and you're like, I don't know why I got so upset about that. So to me, that's healing, right? Like I'm in a place where I don't feel anger towards him. I don't feel I miss him. I'm kind of neutral. That's healing, right? And there's more healing besides that, right? My bigger global picture about life and just being happy, whether you're single or whether you're in a relationship, is huge, right? So to me, that's healing. If that is also equal to closure, then yeah, I think closure is possible. I guess it just depends on your definition.
Got it.
Okay, because we have to wrap up this segment. But what message would you like the readers to take away from this today? And what advice would you give someone that's just beginning their self-love and self-healing journeys? And what practices do you do to even keep that going?
Yeah. I thought about this, right? And I came up with 3 things. And I kind of want to look at my notes here because it was it's a book, right? So I was like, how do I distill this down into like a few messages? But it actually wasn't so hard. Here's the first one that, again, people are going to get different things out of this, but this is what I would hope that somebody would get out of the book if they read it. It's wonderful and good and healthy to love someone in a romantic relationship, but not at the expense of yourself, your happiness, and your dreams. I had a tendency to be codependent, right? Where I just lost myself in the relationship and everything was about them. And so then you lose your independence, you lose your dreams, you just, it's an unhealthy situation. So that's one, right? That good to be in a romantic relationship, not knocking it, but not at the expense of yourself. So if you feel like you do that, maybe some books on codependence would be good. The second one, and this one's a little deeper, you need to be present and at the center of your universe as a whole person. Someone can join you and be part of your world, but not be your whole world. And what I mean by that, I'm going to use like a little stick figure here. Here's me as a single person, happy, doing self-love, self-care, doing great. Okay, Mr. Wonderful walks in, comes in here, and what Janine used to do was all of a sudden let him be the center of the universe, and she was revolving around him, right? Not good, right? Because you lose yourself. And here's the scary part. Here's him in the middle of the universe. What happens if he flies the coop? He's gone. What do you have in the middle of your universe now? Nothing, right? Really scary and hurtful and sad and lonely, and you just don't probably cope with it well. So what I think people need to do is be here in the center of your universe. It's not being selfish. It's just self-care and really paying attention to your needs. Someone wants to come in and join that and kind of circle around that with you, great. But you don't let them be the center of it. That's the second. And the third one would be, you can be happy, single, or in a relationship, either way. So that would be it.
Sure. Oh, that second one was deep, Janine.
Thank you. That
second
great.
one's deep, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and so true.
Outside of her professional life, Janine enjoys living in Santa Cruz, California, where she spends time at the beach, hiking, and traveling. She is also a dedicated songwriter and cherishes her role as a mother to her son, Eric.
Well, thank you, Janine, from the bottom of my heart.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you for being our guest today, and thank the studio audience for being with us.
Yes.
Our beautiful friends
Thank you
here.
for having me.
Thank you. And where can they find your books?
Yes, Janine, where can they find your book, social media?
The best way to find both books is on Amazon. So if you just, I think there's some other books, a few other books called The Uprooted Heart. So probably what you'd want to do if you want to buy it is put The Uprooted Heart, put my name, Janine DiGiacomo, next to it, and that'll come up. That one too, The Uprooted Heart, is available on a Kindle version too. I like the soft cover book because you can write in it. I think if you were to do the Kindle, you'd need like a little notebook or something so you could do the worksheet parts, right? And then the Down the Drain, there's a couple of titles down the drain too. So I would put Down the Drain and put my name as well, and you'll find it. So.
The cover really tells it all. So that's how I remember things mostly. I'm a visual person.
Yes.
Yeah, so I would just pick that up right away. Awesome. Great. We thank you all. Again, thank you, studio audience. And thank you, Janine, for, because you're in California, so different time zone. So we really appreciate you taking the time with us today. And
no problem. It's my pleasure.
This is great. Thank you. Yeah, you can.
Yes. Right. What an inspiration you are, Janine. Thank you so much for the work.
Janine DiGiacomo was recently a privileged guest on the Fashion Monger Academy podcast, where she discussed the themes of breakups, healing, and self-love. In this episode, Janine shared insights from The Uprooted Heart, emphasizing her mission to help individuals move beyond heartache and embrace self-compassion. The conversation was an inspiring exploration of how to turn pain into purpose and create a healthier, happier future.
Coming up, co-host health coach Pina RD.
All right, welcome back. So we're going to be doing this segment on nutrition for heartache and lifestyle tips. This is Fashion Monger Academy.
The FMA lesson plan, nutrition and lifestyle tips for heartache. Health coach Pina Boatwright RD, shares 10 practical ways to support emotional well-being during tough times. Taking care of your body is just as important as caring for your mind. After a breakup, it's easy to fall into unhealthy patterns, such as neglecting meals or overindulging. Focus on habits that nurture your well-being. Fuel your body with balanced meals that provide energy and comfort. While indulgences like chocolate or ice cream are fine occasionally, aim for whole foods that support your physical health and mood. Physical activity is a natural mood booster, thanks to the endorphins it releases. Whether it's yoga, running, dancing, or a simple walk, staying active helps clear your mind and improves your overall well-being.
This is Fashion Monger Academy.
This is Fashion Monger Academy. I'm going to be doing a segment on nutrition and lifestyle tips for heartache. So in this segment, we're going to be walking you through what to do if you're having crisis, or if you're in a situation where you have heartbreak or heartache. So typically during a cycle of stress, so let's think about heartache as stress. When you're experiencing heartache, first thing that happens in the body is that your body starts to experience stress. So the stress hormones, they kick off. And what happens usually, so when we're talking about the hunger cycle with stress, is that we typically have low energy, so lethargy kicks in.
Okay.
Also, you have a period where you're feeling less hunger. Your appetite decreases. You may just find yourself having one meal a day, or maybe ice cream for dinner, right? So this is usually where that low hunger can lead you to restrict. And what happens after you restrict, you go into this emotional roller coaster. That's where the savage, ravage hunger comes in, right? So your period of restriction, let's say you go days and days with just your irregular eating patterns kick in. Then once you have that ravage, savage hunger, your hunger spikes because you have your low blood sugars, your brain is hungry. What can happen there if you're in this emotional roller coaster, it can lead you to overeating and then binge eat, just because your brain is so hungry and your eating patterns have been so irregular. So things to watch out for if you're in this cycle is that when you're in that binge eating cycle, you can tend to overeat. And then that can lead to shame and guilt. So when you're in that binge cycle, and let's say that you've had a period of restriction, and then you're in that emotional roller coaster and you're starting to binge or overeat, what happens to the body is that you may experience shame and guilt from the overeating, which then leads you back into this binge restrict cycle. So things to work out during heartache, and especially periods of increased stress or heightened stress, is find yourself, are you in this cycle? Number one is to try to see if you can interrupt this pattern. Where are you in this cycle? Most important thing to do is to try to see if, okay, you're wherever you are in the cycle, is there anything you can do to interrupt that pattern? So we're going to go through some healthy lifestyle and nutrition tips if you are caught in this cycle to be able to get out of the cycle. This is a vicious, vicious cycle.
So how do you know that you are in the cycle? Like, how do you know that this is happening to you?
So you can typically tell if you're completely off your game, right? So if your eating patterns are really skewed, they're so different from your normal day-to-day. When you're in an emotional state of stress, if you're in a heightened state of stress, your eating will be off.
Yes.
It just will be irregular. So typically you have to ask yourself, oh my goodness, am I feeling hungry? Am I just really not hungry? Am I having my regular meals or not? If you're finding yourself that, seeking sweets, and
That's what to say. Go to certain things like chocolate, right?
Yes,
and ice cream. And why do you want sweets when you're under stress?
So when you're under stress, it could be a number of reasons. One, the first reason is your brain is really hungry. And then especially with stress, your brain is seeking highly palatable foods. So sugar, sweet, fat.
Okay.
They light up the brain, they make you feel better. Could be a momentary, sort of just a moment of feeling better, and then it leads to that shame and that guilt.
Okay.
Because typically if you're having, let's say, a pint of ice cream for dinner, you're not feeling that great. And then it's going to lead to most people, it will be that cycle will continue.
Okay.
And then the idea of to correct that, and then you're overcorrecting, right? So to get into that restrict cycle. So really important to think about, am I in this? Just sit and pause and reflect with yourself and see if there's anything you can do to sort of get out of the cycle. Otherwise, it just keeps continuing.
Yes.
It's very vicious.
Okay.
So a couple of things to do here if you do find yourself in that cycle and you're experiencing loss or heartbreak. Let's see. So tip number one, don't skip meals. Really, really important. I tell all my patients that even if you're not hungry, to set a timer. It's best to have at least be specific with your planning and try to feed your brain. And then say to yourself, I will nourish my body and I'll nourish my brain. Even if you don't feel hungry, just try to have something. Start to set yourself up so that you're having those the regularity of meals again. And then tip number 2, trying to choose foods that elevate your mood. You want to think about supporting your mental resilience, right? So here is where you really want to think about ways that you can help boost those neurotransmitters in your brain. So thinking like dark chocolate, fatty fish, nuts, seeds, all of those that help ease symptoms of anxiety and depression.
Oh, so the chocolate is good. It just has to be dark.
It has to be 70%. So chocolate is great, but 70%
Okay,
above.
that's good to know.
And a
Woohoo!
square of chocolate is 1 ounce, right?
Okay.
So we're talking about with a
That's
square.
good to know
yes,
how many.
1 ounce, a square.
Oh, thanks for clarifying that, because I
And
just keep going. So maybe 4.
70% or above,
1 square.
you get all the antioxidants, all the health benefits
Great
from chocolate.
to know. Yeah.
I love 100% dark chocolate.
Do you really?
I do. I love it. 90%. And there's a bar that's called Wicked Dark that I love.
Oh, wow.
But most people can tolerate somewhere around 70.
Yeah.
But you're having less sugar, so no sugar, no added sugars in a bar that's 70% and above.
Okay.
So chocolate can be. Tip number 3, choosing foods that are high in antioxidants. Again, thinking about when and Janine mentioned that as well, when your body is in a heightened state of stress, your immune system is depressed.
Yeah.
So you want to think about things that you can do to boost your immune
Yeah.
system. So in that way, for tip number 3, I usually recommend thinking berries and leafy greens. Super easy. Berries and leafy greens are going to get you the most antioxidants to help boost that immune system. And then be really protein focused, right? Protein is going to help stabilize your blood sugars, also help to elevate your mood when you're in a period of stress. I put there that great picture of a protein yogurt bowl. It's typically when you're in a high stress state and you're just not feeling really hungry, a protein bowl can be a little bit more accessible than cooking a whole meal. Typically, if you're in a stressed state,
True.
cooking is the last
That's
thing that
could
most
be the
people want to
morning.
do when they're really
Yeah,
stressed out.
there you go.
But a protein bowl can kind of give you
Yeah.
all of those,
Great.
everything you need. You can
Exactly.
throw in some mint leaves and get your greens that way too. And tip number 5. This is an unconventional one, but something that I do recommend, and I used to recommend this to my patients. Thinking about low glycemic carbs. So if you're really struggling with dinner, thinking about a savory oatmeal with protein, it's definitely the savory oatmeal is coming back, but it doesn't have to be oatmeal. Any grains.
Okay.
So buckwheat is a really good one. Farro is really delicious, and a nice warm whole grain can also help boost your mood, but also help with your sleep.
Yeah,
So it really
'cause
quiets the brain.
lose sleep,
The whole grains do in particular, and then protein.
Yeah. Because when you definitely, like you said, stress, everything, because sleep is the first thing for me to stress me out.
Yes, absolutely. So stress is super, super
Yeah.
important to be able to.
my brain's, like,
yes,
wired.
It's wired.
Yeah.
And if I have oatmeal in the morning, I am so sleepy. But if I have it
Oh.
at night, it helps me to fall asleep.
Okay. Yeah. Certain foods. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right, and going back to tip number 6, really decrease. I know that this is during periods of stress, right? We're going to have more caffeine, more alcohol. So thinking about ways that you can eliminate those processed foods, energy drinks, they do not help you. They actually
They're so
create
dangerous.
They create another cycle.
Yes.
So trying to really be careful about consumption during heightened periods of stress.
What about wine? Is that
Yeah.
considered?
Well, I love wine, but
Okay.
you want to really be thinking about it. Can be a real mood. It can really decrease your mood.
Yeah.
And cause increased sadness and
Yeah,
increased
yeah.
depressions and symptoms of depression. So if wine hits you that way, you want to think about just really.
Because sometimes, doctor's orders too, take a sip of a cocktail once or twice a week, because it does calm the nerve.
It does calm the nerves.
A little bit, but,
It can, but
not 5
so-
days a week. Yeah.
And thinking about where you are in the cycle, if you're drinking wine for dinner,
Yeah,
that's,
that's
now
true.
you're in a cycle, right? So you want to be thinking about things that are not going to be
Yes.
deleterious or
I see.
damaging to your health.
Yeah,
Right. So you
that
want
makes
to always think
sense.
about your self-care, especially during heightened period of stress.
Right.
And heartbreak is definitely just a super high stress
Yeah.
situation
is.
for the body and the brain.
Yeah. And stay away from, I don't know if Jeannie mentioned this, is also try and stay away from stressful situations that even though you're in the stress, don't even surround yourself around more stress.
Right, your
Try to stay away
consumption.
from it,
So watching
if you can.
consumption of all things. So
Yeah.
that's also watching, horrible movies
Yeah,
or
yeah.
stressful, sad things or songs that really depress your and both your brain and your immune system, right? So really
Yeah.
trying to think about things that you can do to be uplifted.
Right. And then you're also a health coach. So how long is it safe for your body to be under that stress?
You know what? You can actually shift your from your normal baseline stress, and there's good stress and there's bad stress. So stress is good stress. We need that to really just go, right? To put ourselves in that go mode. But when you're in that heightened period of stress and it continues to go, you can actually shift your to chronic stress.
Yeah.
And then that starts to, and stress does not spare any system of the body.
Okay.
It will start to really affect your
Break you
nervous
down.
system, your circulatory system, your everything.
Yes.
Everything basically will start to shift.
Okay.
So you really want to be thinking of ways that you can get back to that.
So it is a healthy way to get back, to trick your body to come back.
Absolutely.
Okay, so long as you can recover from that.
Yes, you can
Okay.
recover, but once you shift your baseline, it's a
Yeah.
little bit harder to recover, and then you can start to feel, definitely some health symptoms
Yes.
from
Okay.
that. So really important to kind of get back into your baseline, which I know it's so much easier said than done.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's why these are practices, and it's just a practice. Think about one thing that you can do every day that can just help you bring you back to that baseline.
Yes. Well, thank you. Keep going.
Tip number 7, stay hydrated. And this is think beyond the drink, right? So think about just avoiding any sugary beverages that will just spike your insulin, spike your blood sugars, and cause you to have that cycle repeat that we talked about earlier. But definitely making sure that you stay hydrated. Herbal teas are my go-to. I love herbal teas, especially if I'm stressed. There's so many great benefits. I know we've done all kinds of cooking segments with herbal teas, but I lean into my herbal teas. Just holding a cup of tea, really warm sensation around the hands can really help to quiet the mind. Also holding a cup of tea and doing some deep breathing and then sipping. The art of sipping can just be really helpful to relax the parasympathetic nervous system, that nervous system,
Yes.
that
And
relaxation
there's all types
response.
of teas, right?
Oh, so many
Stress
different kinds of teas.
and herbal types of calming.
Yes.
Yeah.
And especially if you have a lot of digestive issues, stress can really, really impact the digestive system. Thinking about some ginger teas can be really helpful to calm the nerves and calm your digestive system.
Right.
Tip number 8, move your body. So I say move your body and find ways that you are naturally, naturally so that the movements can bring you joy. I think a lot of times, and I had so many patients that would say like, okay, I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to hit the gym hard. That is not a bad idea if it helps you, but sometimes that can actually increase your stress hormones, right? So it increases stress, your cortisol levels. So we want to think about things that you can do to move naturally that can bring you joy. So movement can be very helpful. It's incredibly helpful.
Like
and I
walking?
think that exercise is one of the most underprescribed medications or natural practices. Walking, things that bring you joy, dancing, anything that brings you joy. If you find that you're in the gym and this is not joyous, that is something to think about. But if you're there and you're hitting a spin class and you're hitting it hard and you're finding yourself really excited about it, go for it. So and you're like, I need to go back to that. But also making sure that you're finding that natural balance.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to add to that before we move on to the next. Even stressing out what to wear to the gym.
Oh, yes.
Okay, you don't have to throw my little fashion in there, right?
Yes.
So, just, again, not that I mentioned it in this segment, but in other segments, I did mention have a uniform. Always have a uniform no matter what it is. So for exercise, have a uniform for that. For work, have a uniform for that. For going grocery shopping, doing errands, have a uniform. It's great to have a basic, I call it a uniform, something to go to that you know you look good in, you feel comfortable wearing, and it's no fuss, and it's just really, you always look good in that uniform. Always have that ready to go. Because that won't stop me from going to the gym if I'm not looking.
Oh, absolutely. And then you have to think about it, right?
You have to think about what to wear.
Yeah, you have to think during heightened periods of stress, your brain is overwhelmed. It's just completely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And
So
you have
it's very
brain fog
important.
too. So if you have to think like, what do I have to wear? Where is that?
that adds
I
another
love
stress
that,
level.
right?
Mhm.
Yes. So have a uniform. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome
Thank
tip. And then going back to our 9. So tip 9, be in nature. Nature definitely can be a mood booster, and getting sunlight and vitamin D. Vitamin D is a hormone in our body that, and with lower D, you can tend to definitely have not only bone pain and all kinds of ailments, but it definitely depresses your mood as well. So getting out into nature, being in sunlight. And then our last tip is to do something new. I don't know, maybe try a bartending class or find something new. There's always something to reinvent yourself, right?
Reinvent yourself.
Just try something new.
Make you find that you have a purpose.
Yes, and then that way it aligns you with your growth mindset.
Yes.
If you're going through heartache, you're typically feeling like you're not growing, right? I mean, you're just in a place that you're experiencing so much pain that everything can slow down and stop.
Yeah.
So finding a way that you can redefine yourself, reinvent yourself. We're always growing. We're always learning.
Always.
We don't stop learning and growing.
Yeah, because a lot of people get stuck in the routine that this is it. This is all they know. There's more to learn.
There's more to learn. There's always something to learn.
It doesn't stop there.
No.
So people get a little stuck in and they get depressed all over just because of that. So always, like you said, always learn.
Try
it
something
moving.
new that you haven't tried. Also, it will distract your brain so much when you're in that brain fog and you're not trying to learn something new.
Thank you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You are right about that.
Yes. All right, those are my tips. Hopefully you'll be able to come in and out of that cycle and thrive, right? So our goal is to thrive.
Coming up, host, Menervia, interior designer, fashion and style enthusiast.
The FMA lesson plan, breakup uniform wardrobe. Host Menervia recommends creating a simple, go-to outfit formula for days when you need to feel confident and comfortable. Think easy basics that work for the gym, running errands, or going to work. Plus accessories like hats to instantly elevate your look and keep you feeling put together, even when your emotions are running high.
So like I mentioned, the uniform. So again, clothing behind me. It's great to even have just a dark denim jean. So that could be your uniform. You can wear that 5 days a week with 5 different tops. So you can wear it with a t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt, wear it with a blazer. Blazer will always pull a look together. Even if you're wearing your yoga pants, throw on a blazer. Just got a whole different look. And wear the black pants with a white button-down shirt or a different color button-down shirt. Even a shirt like this. Just switch it up. And then you can also wear a blouse to dress up the pants if you're going out for dinner that evening. And again, the blazer and the dark denim jeans will just change your whole look, give you a whole look without even thinking about it. It's less stress, and you're gonna look pulled together during your breakup. And they're gonna look at you like, is she going through a breakup?
That's like a glow up, right?
They'll never see that. Right. And then your hairdo, just pull it back in a ponytail so that you don't have to, no fuss, right? So, and throw on a hat. This is your best accessory.
I love
That's all I could say. Throw a hat on and it really would transform any uniform.
Love it.
So that is my tip for when you're going through a breakup. No one would have to know.
So
you
look good.
You feel
you have
good.
to look good and feel good,
you
right?
will feel good. Do
Even
not stay in those sweats all day.
No, it's so
and
hard.
cry.
How the ex is going to feel when they
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
Right.
There you go. Right.
So love any questions from our studio audience, anything from our healthy nutrition,
what do you
lifestyle
guys-
tips.
Right. How do you guys bounce back from your breakups?
Rearrange furniture.
There you go.
Things.
There you go. Decor. Thank you. Yes.
I thought you weren't supposed to cut things.
Nothing drastic.
Yeah, you're right. You're not supposed to cut the things.
No drastic haircuts.
She is right about that.
Oh, but I do because I.
You can buy them now, though. You don't have to cut it. You can buy it. I have a pair.
The FMA lesson plan, declutter your decor. Breakups often mean a change in routine and environment. Make your space your sanctuary, a place of peace and comfort. Rearrange furniture, add new decorations, or remove items that remind you of your ex. This physical shift can symbolize a fresh start. Refresh your living space by getting rid of items that no longer serve you. Decluttering gives you the chance to redesign your environment and make room for things that genuinely reflect your new lifestyle and personal growth. Tidying your surroundings can give you a sense of control and accomplishment. Consider doing a closet clean-out or reorganizing your bookshelf. Small changes can make a big difference in fostering positivity.
Decor
key.
is so important. You don't want that clutter, right?
Right.
Sometimes that can
Clear
go
that
too.
space up,
I call
buy
it
something new.
depression piles, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, if your clothes starts to
Yeah.
hang out somewhere in the
Yeah.
room that doesn't usually live.
She's right,
Little
Decor.
depression piles.
Because I'll tap into that before we close out. So when you do have to rearrange that person that you did break up with, and I'm like, hoo-hoo, because now I can make that room something that I want.
Yes.
So you can make your she shed, right,
Mm-hmm.
room. You can do a lot. So there's a lot to do with that. Yeah,
That's
you're right
empowering.
about that.
That's super empowering
Yeah,
as well.
it is.
Temporary hair solutions. Instead of making drastic changes to your hair, opt for temporary styles, such as using hair clips to create bangs. This lets you experiment with your look without any permanent commitment, helping you express your feelings in a safe and reversible way.
Any other questions from the studio audience?
That was perfect.
Good. Awesome. Mm-hmm. So great. So hopefully FMA students, our audience, please take care of yourself. Self-care is the most important thing. And as Vic Breedy said, be selfish with
Be
your self-care.
selfish.
And as Janine DiGiacomo also tells us and has taught us in the book to really honor your self-care.
Right.
And
Make
make
sure you
that
all
make that
journals.
super important.
Yeah.
Make that the
Self-care.
first thing you do.
Mm-hmm. And self-love.
And self-love.
Yeah, make time for yourself.
No,
That's right.
self-love
That's
is
right.
not selfish.
Yeah.
It is.
And
at
find
the
a way to
core.
heal. Find that way to heal. Let it out. Do
And
not
it's
hold
so
it in.
hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, find your way.
Breakups bring a whirlwind of emotions, sadness, anger, confusion, and sometimes relief. It's crucial to let yourself feel these without judgment. Suppressing emotions can prolong the healing process. Journaling, meditating, or simply allowing yourself to cry can be powerful outlets for expressing feelings. A breakup is never easy, but it can be a transformative experience. By prioritizing self-care and embracing the healing process, you can turn pain into an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. Remember, you are resilient and brighter days lie ahead.
Well, we thank you, studio audience. So we thank you for tuning in. And again, you can find us on social media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, lintv.org. And we thank you so much. Hope this was helpful for you.
If you are going through a breakup, feeling shocked, sad, angry, or confused, The Uprooted Heart offers wisdom, understanding, and actionable tools to help you heal and thrive. Through healing guides, uplifting interviews, interactive workbook exercises, and heartfelt stories, Janine DiGiacomo's book is a beacon of hope for anyone seeking to mend their heart and rediscover the power of self-love.
Thanks for watching Fashion Monger Academy, lifestyle curated episode. Watch episodes on YouTube and LCTV website lintv.org. Please follow us on YouTube, IG, and TikTok. We thank you for your support.